It's about passion for a sport we all enjoy. It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about a single voice of strength. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
We're asking you to join us
and become a proud members American Catfish Association. You'll be happy you did. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.
ACA Live. Still having computer issues, so excuse the delays. Tonight we got a great show. We've got 3 great guests, and we're gonna have some fun. Get ready to write down an email address. In fact, I'll give it to you now. It's glenn@rigwrap.com. Save that, and I'm going to tell you what you're going to need that for. But tonight we have Bill Ladley, who is the director of the new Lake Erie Catfish Challenge with us. And Bill has done a great job for his first time out of the gate, creating an event that's in Lake Erie and the tributaries off Lake Erie for channel cat and flatheads. And Bill, welcome to ACA Live.
Hey, Glenn, glad to be here, buddy.
So tell us about Lake Erie Catfish Challenge.
Yeah, Lake Erie Catfish Challenge started off as a dream between myself and Tony. We got a hold of you, and the Tournament Alliance made it a reality along with the sponsors we have. A good push in getting us in the right direction.
Well, you know, it's great. I mean, the Tournament Alliance, I know that you've talked to a lot of the members of the Tournament Alliance, and they've given you a helping hand. And, you know, folks don't realize the kind of work that has to go into a tournament, especially the size tournament that you've been able to put together. You've got what now, 70-plus teams signed up for your first event, which is coming up when?
May 15th, Sandusky Bay.
Well, Sandusky's a great place. That's where what's the name of the amusement park there?
Cedar Point.
Cedar Point. You like roller coasters, that's the place to go.
Well, tournament, I believe, is the opening weekend of that place. I'm not too sure.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. So, you know, so you can really make a long weekend out of it and take in Cedar Point and fish a tournament.
You can see Cedar Point right from the spot where we're going to be fished. You see the roller coasters flying through the air and all that good stuff.
That's great. Well, Bill, the fishing up there, you got channels and you got flatheads, right?
Yes. That is correct.
Cool.
Big
That's
channel.
Cool. Now, I hear that channel cats get awfully big up there. What's a typical size?
You know, I catch them in the 20s, 20-pound rate.
And what about flatheads?
You know, 40, 45 pounds.
Nice. It'd be a lot of fun. So you got what now? The last thing I know is that you had about 70 teams signed up?
Well, we got 72 right now.
72, and there's still room for more, right?
Yeah, we got more than enough room for more.
That's terrific. So give me all of let everybody know all the specifics.
Yeah, we paid down to 5th place. We got a $500 big fish pot from Erie Outfitters. Plenty of giveaways. Got a raffle to go on. Heroes Outdoor Therapy will be there. Got some
Leslie's going to host it, right? She's going to MC it.
Yeah, she's coming up.
That's great. She'll do a great job. She's a lot of fun. Get her laughing. Get her laughing. Wait till you hear this woman's laugh. No, I'm serious. I'm not going to say any more, but just get her laughing.
Yeah, it'll be broadcasted live on Facebook.
Oh God, that'd be hysterical. You got to get her laughing. She's probably listening right now, and she's probably cursing me, but that's okay. So this is your first event out of how many?
We got 4.
You got 4 events.
Yep, we got 4 events.
When are they?
Huh?
When are they? When and where?
Yeah, so we got May 15th, Sandusky Bay. June 19th is going to be Bayview. July 24th, we go to the Huron River, which is a channel cat pot and a flathead pot. And 2 pots on that one.
Okay.
And then we go back to the Sandusky Bay again to finish it up.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds great. What's entry fee?
The entry fee for the upcoming one is $100 buy-in.
That's it, $100.
That's it.
That's terrific. That's terrific. And is that for all 4 of your events? Is that the same amount?
No, they're different amounts.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the range?
The price range this year we don't go over $150 buy-in.
That's terrific. That's great. That's great. And your payouts with all those teams must be pretty attractive.
They are. They're pretty special.
And you got some great sponsors too. People don't realize. I mean, Bill's been working his tail off, and some of the best catfish brands in the business are sponsoring this event. And Rig Rep, very, very happy to be involved with it. There you go. There's a Rig Rep logo. Monster, B&M. Look at them all. Yep. Meat Hunter.
Yep.
Nice logo. Nice logo.
We appreciate every one of them, from local support, for the industry support, to everybody coming up to fish. You know, everybody's just special. You know, they all come in, and the feedback I get, and people being thankful that, you know, Lake Erie's got a catfish tournament, you know, of a significant size, and bringing in the ACA and all these sponsors. People are fired up.
Yeah, no, it's terrific what you've done. I don't know if most people know this. I kind of play around with some graphic design work, and I've done some work for a lot of people in the catfish industry, and you know, I'm good, you know, as far as on average good. And there's some people that are a whole lot better. We had some fun designing that logo. And speaking about logos, let me tell you folks a little story that happened to me this weekend. George Young and Bill Dance George sent me a text message, a copy of a text message he received from Bill Dance, complaining about the Mississippi River Monsters logo, which I created about 3 years ago, complaining that the monster caricature on the logo was too aggressive, ugly. And Bill was complaining, and George said, Bill doesn't like it. We need to change it. Not only does Bill not like it, but Johnny Morris doesn't like it. Now, this went on for 45 minutes. I was beside myself, thinking to myself, rebranding this thing is going to cost a lot of money, and it's going to cost a lot of time, which I don't have a whole lot of these days. 45 minutes later, they told me that it was a prank. So it's time to get even. Those that know me know that if you're going to play, you're going to poke the bear, I'm going to get even. One way or the other, I'm going to get even. So Glenn at rigrap.com, I want you to send me your ideas on how to get even with Bill Dance and George Young. I need some good ideas. It can't hurt anybody. You can't. It's got to be family friendly. So let's hear your ideas, because I want to get even, and I want to get even in a big way. So George, if you're watching, listening, I'm coming for you, baby. Bill, same thing. Bill said it was all George's idea. George says it's all Bill's idea. So I'm not sure who to believe. So they're both going to get equal treatment. So Bill, if you got an idea, I'm willing to hear it.
You know, I'm going to have to think on this one, because I've got.
It's okay. No, we got plenty of time. There's plenty of time to think about it. I mean, worst case scenario is it happens in September, but between now and September, something interesting we'll have to come up with something really good. So help me get even with George Young and Bill Dance in a nice way, funny way. So this started last year, Bill pouring water down my back. So Bill, what do they do about conservation up in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they got a one channel cat over 28 limit, which I think is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. No, there's we're gonna bring on Ken Smith here in a little bit, and we're gonna talk about conservation. And before we do that, there were a few tournaments that happened this weekend, but I only have the results from one. I apologize, but all the points haven't been uploaded into the system for me to be able to pull from. But anyways, Indiana Catfish Association had an event, and Wagler Graber won it with 96.4 pounds, and it was Lyndon Wagler, John Graber, and Alan Wagler on that team. And we had Team Price, Frencher, and Riggins, 79.87 pounds, Cliff Riggins, Henry Price, Stephen Frencher. And Team Yoder, 67.76 pounds, Naomi and Kevin Yoder. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. I don't mean to butcher them. But, so there's a lot of tournaments going on. Summertime is pretty much here. A lot of tournaments happening. If you haven't already, if you're not a member of the ACA, join it. If you're going to fish some of these tournaments, every time you fish an ACA Tournament Alliance events, your name goes in the hat for your chance to win a new Sea Arc boat. Bill, did you see the images of the new Sea Arc boat, the giveaway boat?
Beautiful. That's a beautiful boat.
Yeah, it's custom wrapped. It's got every logo of all the Tournament Alliance members on there. 32 trails, 185 events.
Yeah, that's an amazing boat they got there.
And we've got Ugly Stick, we've got Abu Garcia, we got Berkeley's, we've got B&M, we got Garmin, we got Offshore Tackle, Rig Wrap. There's over $100,000 now in cash and prizes.
Phenomenal.
Over $100,000. Never in a million years that I think that it would get that big so quickly. And we're really excited and we're thrilled to be part of such a great alliance of tournament directors. And Bill, thank you for being one of those. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Ken Smith, who is a biologist, a retired biologist, state of Tennessee, great information. We're going to talk about commercial fishing when we come back. Stay with us.
Fear of failure is failure itself. The world of science rewards the ones who are willing to try and fail, because with the courage to fail and to learn, ideas can change the world.
Hey guys, Pipeline here. Do you want the absolute best when it comes to the performance of your reels?
Choose the company Tournament Anglers trust. From our top-notch reel services
to high-end quality terminal tackle.
Trust in
Pipeline Tackle.
It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
All right, we're back. Bill, I'm going to bring in Ken Smith.
All righty.
Ken, how are you?
I'm doing good, Glenn. How's everybody out there in the video? I'm used to doing a radio show, not this video. As they say, I've got the face for radio, not video. So
yeah, you
I
and me
hope this
both.
goes well.
But Ken, little bit of background. You're a retired biologist with the state of Tennessee, correct?
Well, I was actually got a degree in wildlife biology from the University of Tennessee, but I was a game warden, wildlife officer for over 30 years.
Okay, all right.
Did a lot of biological type work, and particularly in fisheries and so forth, though. But I'm a game warden, or was. I've been retired for, Paula, help me out, 2 years, a little over 2 years now.
He's never stopped.
That's the last thing you want to do is ask Paula to help you out. You know she's going to steal the show.
I guess I'm a little bit biased here. I need to start taking your advice, Glenn. She'll be over here in a second. She's pointing fingers at me.
As long as it's a finger, not a fist.
Yeah.
So can we, a lot of people have made comments regarding commercial fishing, and the position of the ACA has been, look at, if commercial fishing went away completely, I don't think anybody would be unhappy about that. But providing commercial fishing is done responsibly, is it or is it not a benefit to our public fisheries?
Glenn, I've been doing some research and looking around, and there are studies both that show that commercial fishing is a benefit, and commercial fishing can be a detriment to catfish populations. It depends on which research paper you look at and what where it was looked at. But there has been some studies done that commercial fishing, by taking out the smaller size catfish, the what we call eater size, you reduce that population, so there's more food for the rest of the catfish, which now can grow quicker. In catfish biology, including human biology or any other biology, there's more food, things tend to get bigger faster. Myself's a good example. Put me in front of a buffet and I eat a lot and I get big. Catfish are the same way, but then again, if you don't have a lot of food, then those fish don't grow as quick. So it's important that the population's kept in check. And of course, there's different ways to see that. I know there was a guy I actually worked with 30 years ago. He's been retired. He's actually still alive. John Condor. He was a fisheries biologist in this area. He did a study back in the 60s, I believe, talking about the benefits of commercial fishing, how it reduces those population. There's more food to go around, and the fish actually got bigger. So yeah, it can be a beneficial thing.
But again, and I want to reiterate, beneficial providing it's done responsibly, yes?
Yes, it's exactly right. Here in Tennessee, with the help and assistance of ACA, and Glenn, I appreciate your input on that. We actually introduced some regulation changes this year. They haven't been voted on yet. So, and basically what we're looking at is trying to reclassify larger catfish as a sports fish. Some other states have done that. Glenn, you may be more familiar with which ones have tried this than I am. I haven't found which ones have, but by doing that, maybe we could say that it's a sports fish and now it can't be commercially sold. In Tennessee right now, commercial fishermen are limited to one fish over 30 or 34 inches and larger. And then on top of that, they can't possess it alive. They actually have to kill that fish. If they're going to keep it, they have to kill it. And of course, we all know what that's about, why we're doing that. Issues. But, what we're looking at right now is to say no commercial take of catfish over 34 inches.
Well, now how easy is that to do? I mean, to be able to segregate out these larger fish. I mean, whether they're, what's the most common practice of catching? Is it gill netting? Is it hoop netting? Is it trout lines? What is it?
Well, it's a combination of all of that, Glenn. What I have seen 30 years out on the water, and a lot of these commercial fishing, and let me say this, is some of the hardest working, most dedicated guys out there, commercial fishermen.
Sure.
And for years, really, they didn't want these larger fish. They weren't a marketable fish. As the commercial fishermen told me, what the consumer wants is a small fish that looks like a fillet of a smaller catfish. They don't want these big steaks nowadays. And so they weren't really marketable. They can sell them. The market's the same price for the big fish as the small fish, at least in the meat market. And so Most of these fish, though, are commercial fishermen. The majority around here, I know of. It depends upon time of year, what they're looking for, and what time of year it is. But trot lines throughout the summertime, and then in the winter, it seems like a little bit more gill nets. Certain time of the year, they're looking for what we call a fiddler or a small catfish to eat whole. And of course, they'll put nets out or baskets and slat baskets out for those specifically, to find that size catfish that the market's wanting at that time.
Well, the other thing too is that I don't think people realize, but there's a lot of states, have a health recommendation that you don't eat more than 1 or 2 meals a month of wild caught catfish, and certainly the older a catfish gets, the more the PCBs and the mercuries and other contaminants build up. So it's beyond me why states don't actually regulate a little bit more as far as bag limits, so that, people aren't taking huge amounts of catfish out to eat, but they're eating it 2-3 times a week.
That's a good point. And my wife actually brought that up a few years ago. And when you see these consumption advisories in your local regulations and like fishing regulations, as a consumer, you go to a restaurant and you order catfish, and you don't know whether that's got these contaminants in it or not.
Right.
So there's some governmental agency that's supposed to keep an eye on these things and that they do their job, but we all know what the government does and doesn't do, so be wary. But yeah, there's a lot of consumption, and one of the issues that the government doesn't take in consideration is blue catfish in particular are highly migratory. They may be in the Tennessee River 1 month, and the next month they're out in the Mississippi or Ohio River. And so you have these areas that have these consumption advisories where they don't even allow commercial fishing because of the contaminants. Well, what if that fish was in those areas with the contaminants, migrated hundreds of miles to an area that does allow commercial fishing? Now it's harvested and it's sitting on your plate. You don't know. And so that's something that we all need to take in consideration, as well as the government. Glenn, back, I think it was back in the 70s. That's when the channel cat, what do they call the growing the channel cat, the farm cat?
Yeah, fish farming, sure, aquaculture.
Aquaculture, that's it. Thank you. I'm just a loss of words. But that came about, and of course, a lot of it had to do with the food. They use soybean meal to feed them with, and they're a more marketable fish. They can harvest them at a specific size, and they're cleaner. I was reading something today I wasn't even aware of, Glenn, and you may have heard this, but many of us are aware of the Vietnamese catfish that are being sold in America. I think it was back in the early 2000s, Congress actually passed a law that if it's sold in our United States as a catfish, it has to be a channel catfish now. So these Vietnamese catfish cannot be sold in America as a catfish. I wasn't aware of that.
I'm trying to think of the name of the catfish that's over in Southeast Asia. I mean, in fact, we had a trivia question on it. I think it was the first week. The largest catfish.
Yeah, the Mekong.
Mekong. Yeah. I mean, 600, 700 pounds.
Unbelievable.
They're huge.
Yeah.
I know like the Wells catfish in Europe, that gets to be several hundred pounds, but I don't think it gets anywhere near the kind of size as the Mekong does.
No, and they just put a few dams over the last 20, 30 years on the Mekong River, the Yangtze, and some other. Well, in China, they don't really necessarily regulate pollutants as much as we do here in the United States.
I've been there. I can tell you they don't.
Yeah, and they don't. And those fish are dying out, those larger fish, because of that.
Yeah. No, it's people don't realize that the regulations that we have in the U.S., as poor as some people may think they are far and above better than anywhere else in the world. Yeah.
But, Glenn, again, we got to address that contaminants in these catfish.
Yep.
Let me say this and tell the public what's going on here. Of course, a catfish for years had been considered a bottom feeding fish. It's not. We all know that.
Bottom dwelling.
bottom dwelling, but they consume things off the bottom, and that's not necessarily true. But there's a lot of contaminants in the water. How they get there, there's a lot of different ways. Of course, mercury and lead through different types of emissions and things that ended up in the water, washing on down the roads, and farm and agricultural runoff, a bunch of different things, factories and so forth. Well, that stuff does accumulate in the waterways. And things that eat those, particularly like crayfish and things, do consume that. Catfish come along and eat them, and they get stored in those catfish. Well, younger catfish don't have as long of time or a period to store up these contaminants. So these larger catfish, older, they've stored a lot more of it. So yet another reason to protect these larger catfish from the commercial meat market. Keep them in the market.
Bring up pregnant women.
Yeah, and Paulette's saying something about, the recommendations for pregnant women, nursing women not to eat so much, or people with health risks and so forth.
Yeah, no, it's important. People understand, well, maybe they do, but farm-raised catfish are fed grain and corn, and I'm told it's a much sweeter tasting meat. And Ken, you correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the mercury that fish in general pick up in the wild is actually naturally occurring. It's not from necessarily pollutants, but I know that where I'm from in Western New York, Lake Ontario, has a warning for salmon, for instance. But the mercury is not from man-made pollutants; it's actually naturally occurring.
Yeah. It is. And one of the problems mercury in itself in its elemental form is not that dangerous. And I'm no doctor, so I don't go by my word on this.
But you play one on TV, is that
it's not as dangerous, yeah. But when it gets in an anaerobic or without oxygen situation, it converts to a different form of mercury called dimethylmercury, which is very dangerous to all living animals. That's where we'll think of the bottom of a lake and the mud and the substrate. There's no oxygen down there, and again, these benthic organisms that eat this detritus, the dead things on the bottom, they're consuming it, and then the bigger fish are eating it, and that's how it gets into the food system.
Yeah. Well, Ken, I'm going to shift gears a little bit on you. Last night and again today, I got a call from some anglers in Georgia, and apparently there's a tournament going on in Georgia that is targeting flatheads, and it's actually a several week long tournament, and they're going to be pulling these catfish out of the water, and they're going to put them on the bank to let them die. And it's terrible to hear something like that. But Georgia considers the flathead and actually some of the blues to be invasive other than in the Coosa River.
Yeah.
I try to explain to folks, and it's tough for me to have to say this, but when a species of catfish is considered to be invasive, there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do.
Mm-hmm. It's a good example of that, Glenn, is the Asian carp, the silver carp, the big heads, the black carp, and so forth. That's what we consider invasive because of the potential damage that it can inflict upon a specific area. In Georgia, the flathead is not. And I believe, and I'd have to look it up, Glenn, to make sure, but the flathead is mainly off the Mississippi River and its contributing streams and rivers. And so it wasn't originally along the eastern coast in that part of Georgia. But if we know the flathead, they're a very aggressive feeding fish, and it is considered an invasive species there. And, as a group of fishermen, we can all gather together and point our fingers at the DNR, the natural resource guys, and say, don't do this, don't get rid of the flathead. But they're going to say, again, it's not native, and it's displacing other native species. And of course, they probably do have some facts there somewhere that show that the flathead has displaced or impacted some other native species. It may not be other fish, it could be other things.
No, the report that I was reading said that it had decimated the population of bluegills and some of the panfish in a lot of their waters. It's like it's like a snakehead. I mean, if you came across a snakehead, what are you going to do with it? You're going to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way they look at the flathead. But it's not just flathead; it's a snakehead, it's zebra mussels, it's a variety of species of fish or that they are trying to eradicate. And I wish we could change their mind and show them the economic benefit to from the recreational fishing industry of keeping, the species, or at least maybe some waterways that they could dedicate to the blues and the flatheads, like Lake Lanier, which is northeast of Atlanta, would be a terrific place to be able to go to fish for some trophy-sized catfish. Anywhere is a great place to go for trophy-sized catfish. But yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, to see that Maryland just opened up blues because blues are eating all the crabs, and that's invasive there. So it's it's a challenge, and we have to be a little bit, I guess, tolerant of the fact that
Well, it's
can't
like
win them all.
Glenn, I think we all need to look at all the facts before we start making decisions and judgments and so forth. And I don't know enough about either of those two situations to make any sound judgments on them. But, you think about it, pretty much all species are invasive. At one point, there weren't bluegill in Georgia. It may have been 10,000 years ago, but, and it made it there. Flathead would have eventually made it there anyhow. And you can look at things that way.
Yeah, I mean, every fish is probably invasive to a certain degree, right? If you march the clock back far enough.
Yeah.
But it's great, Ken. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you being on and giving us a little bit of your wisdom. The ACA is very, very fortunate to have Ken on the conservation committee. Thank you for that, Ken. Ken and I talk back and forth, and he certainly educates me to quite a bit of stuff. And where's your lovely wife? We need to get her on, just so you know.
She's running. Hold up. Don't knock me over, Paula. And of course, everybody may know her a lot more than they know me.
I'm going to whoop you in the slow way. Hi.
Hey, Paula.
Which
How
one?
are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, we wanted to get you on here so you could say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Throw your 2 cents in. I know we're going to say 2 cents, and you're going to at least throw $5 at us. So go ahead.
Yeah, shoot the moon. I don't see how flatheads could be invasive. Asian carp, they're invasive, but they're controllable, manageable, in my opinion. They make great bait.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me ask you. Let's ask your husband that question. Are Asian carp controllable, Ken?
No, they're not.
Okay. All right. I just want to clarify. I just didn't want to put anything out there and make sure that, we weren't both, hung up, by our necks for that one.
Okay,
Well,
what I'm trying to
Oh, you're going to get us in trouble with comments like that.
no, what I'm trying to say is you can take the Asian carp and use them for different things. They're great for bait in the heat of the summer in my area. They make dog food. They're also trying to serve them right now in Nashville, Tennessee. You can go to a restaurant and order Asian carp. Ken has ate them. I haven't. They're supposed to be good. I don't know. But you're not going to eliminate them. That's just a given.
No, I mean, they're going to try to at least control them. I don't think you're ever going to eradicate them.
Right. And that was really my point, was that you're not going to eliminate them. So try to find another way to spend all this grant money that states are allowing for getting rid of the Asian carp and throw it into something like the ACA that's going to try to manage.
I like how you think, Paula. As a matter of fact,
well, you didn't want to go.
No. It's a good idea. It's actually a great segue to show everybody. Has everybody seen the ACA Conservation Foundation decal bumper sticker? Catch, release, repeat. $10 donation to the Conservation Foundation. We need that, Ken. We've got a lot of reports to get done.
Okay.
Every time you make a donation of $10 or more, you're going to get one of these decals, and certainly our thanks. So I had to get a little plug in there. So thank you.
And I would like to, when Ken commented on the consumption of these fish, it's the fatty part of the fish. And the research I did, they recommend that pregnant women do not eat any fish caught out of the waters. Because it could do harm to the baby. I mean, it's not only mercury, you're looking at arsenic, you're looking at all different kinds of
No, there are a lot of contaminants. A lot of contaminants. So, Paula, you've been out fishing, yes?
Yeah, since when?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. When was the last time you were out fishing?
I was out yesterday, the day before.
Tornado warnings today, and she wanted to go. I've tried to get her to learn to not go out on inclement weather.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be the smart thing to do. I mean, look at once you splash that boat, it's your responsibility.
Yeah, I got a lot of backlash from pulling out of the Sea Arc Invitational, and I'm going to tell you something. I want to clear something up. There's absolutely nobody to blame. You can't blame Sea Arc. You can't blame Tom, Dick, or Harry. As a captain of the boat, I had to make a call. I know my boat. I've got experience, and it wasn't worth the risk. They were not in my favor, so I made a call, and it's eaten my lunch ever since. I'll be back next year.
Oh, no. Sierra, I'll tell you what. Sierra put on a fantastic event. Everybody knocked themselves out. They gave everybody the opportunity as far as a refund if they didn't want to fish it.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they offered that. But, as I mentioned, when you splash your boat, whether it be a tournament or not, you're responsible. There were a lot of teams that tied up on the dock and kind of waited it out because the weather turned out to be terrific for most of the day.
And I kept an eye on it. I'm really grateful that they had a great turnout. They had a wonderful weigh-in.
Yeah.
I wished I could have, fished it, but the conditions.
But that was your call. That was your comfort level. That was your decision, and that's a personal decision for everybody. And it's a decision that captains need to make on their own. They know the conditions. They know they know what's going on, and it's the captain's call. I mean, I've been boating all my life, and if there's a chance of inclement weather and you don't want to chance it, don't go out. Simple. And there's a few people out there in low freeboard john boats. That wasn't the weather to be taking a john boat out. I'm sorry.
Right.
But again, they did. I know one of the boats came in, got reorganized and went back out. So, I mean, it's, people had a lot of fun, and it was a terrific event, and hats off to CR for what they did.
Right. And a lot of people, CR this, CR had nothing to do with this.
No, they did not. They put on a great event, and they gave everybody the option to do what they needed to do.
Right.
So, and they don't need to be canceling or again, it's up to the captain of the boat. You splash it, it's your call.
Right. If you're a good angler, you are watching the weather a week prior or 2 weeks prior to the tournament you're going to be fishing. And I kept an eye on the water, the weather, and I just had a call to make and I made it, and I don't regret it. But I'll be back next year.
Good. It was a lot of fun. It was great to see everybody. Paula, it was wonderful to see you.
Hey, I got you hooked up with one country music singer.
Pardon me?
I got you hooked up with one country music singer.
Don't say too much. Don't say too much.
As far as I go.
It's going to be a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Yeah, good. Thank you. All right, listen, when we come back, we've got Don't Call Me Jason, Spud Barton, coming up with a tip of the week. And we're going to also spin the ACA Live prize wheel. Some great prizes on there to win. So stick with us, and we will be back in just a couple minutes. Oh, by the way, we got a new 30-second ACA commercial we shot in Alabama. This thing was shot in like 30 minutes. And, anyways, it's a lot of fun. You can see it.
No matter matter how hard you try, keeping your rigs tangle-free is, well, challenging. Well, not anymore with Rig Wrap. Staying tangle-free has never been easier. Just wrap, close, rinse, and store. Simple, right?
Wow.
No matter the rig, Rig Wrap has a storage solution to keep you tangle-free. From conveniently small to offshore extra large, you'll never worry about tangled rigs ever again. Rig Wrap, the world's best fishing rig storage solution.
Hey, I just saved a whole bunch of money on my hotel room for this tournament. Do you know that ACA has over 800,000 businesses in that discount program?
Man, have y'all seen the resources on the ACA website? I mean, they've got everything on there you need to know about catfish.
All that stuff is great, but look at what they're doing for conservation. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not a member. Hello, ACA?
Cat River Anchors.
So, anyways, Bill, what do you think? Yeah. Ken's got some great information. He's a terrific guy, and his wife Paula is one heck of an angler on her own.
Yeah, I agree.
We're really blessed to have Ken as far as part of the ACA Conservation Committee, and can't thank him enough for his involvement and his great direction. So we're going to bring in Spud Barton down in Texas. There he is.
How's it
going,
Spud, everyone?
What's going on?
Oh, doing well. Apologize about the neighbor's dogs. Those are not mine in the background. As soon as the show came on, they started hooting and hollering for you, Glenn.
Well, hey, guys, have you come up with any ideas of how I can get even with Bill Dance and George Young?
I told you earlier, you can extend that trailer hitch. You know, he has a problem walking around the back of his truck.
No. You can't. If you have an idea, you got to send it to Glenn at rigwrap.com. Okay? Don't make it public. We don't want them to know what's coming.
He's probably going to forget by then.
I'm sorry?
I said, Glenn, Bill's getting up there in age. He'll probably forget I even mentioned this.
You know what? He's going to see you. He's going to kick your butt, because I'll tell you what, he is the youngest guy. He's got more energy than all three of us put together. This guy is amazing, absolutely amazing. But that doesn't mean, and I've got all the respect in the world for him. However, that doesn't mean I'm not getting even. I'm getting even in a big way. But it's got to, like I said before, it's got to be family friendly, and it's got to be safe. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Okay. No shock factors, nothing like that. So if you come up with a good idea, I want to hear it. Glenn, Glen, at rigwrap.com. Send it to, I didn't want to involve the ACA. It's just, Glenn at rigwrap.com. If you got a great way to prank Bill Dance and George Young, I want to hear it, because I am going to it's going to be epic. Whatever it is, it's got to be epic. So, speaking about epics, Bud, we need an epic tip of the week. What do you think, Bill?
I think Bill froze there.
I think he did. Oh, there he is. He's back. Nope, he's froze.
He's froze again.
All right, Spud.
Not a problem. So what I'm going to talk about this week is about your rod and reel matchups. Just, I don't know about most people, but for me, the three biggest techniques of catfishing is, bumping, drifting, and anchoring. So I want to kind of show you what I use and what combinations I use on for each technique. I'm sponsored by B&M. I'm glad to be sponsored by them. They make, in my opinion, one of some of the best rods out there on the market. This is the B&M Pro Staff bumping rod. I prefer the 7 foot. You know, these are super lightweight on
supporter of the ACA.
Rod.
I just want to say that and thank them.
Oh yeah, they are sponsored the ACA. But on any bump rod you look at, you want to make sure that you're looking at a light rod. You want to look at something that's well balanced. You're gonna be holding this thing all day long. You're gonna. Me personally, the 7 foot rod is just a slightly bit lighter than a 7.5 or an 8 foot rod. But pick a rod and reel that is lightweight, that's comfortable in your hands. And like I said, this graphite rod fits me very well. I got to pair with the Kuma 44D. It's got a heavy drag. When you're bumping, you don't ever know what's behind you. If it comes in structure, or if it's sand flat, if it's a revetment or what. But if you want something, you want a reel that's got a heavy drag, braided line. You don't want to use mono. You won't be able to feel the bottom when you're bumping. And this is my preferred combo when I'm bumping down Mississippi or when I'm bumping with my partner. And we did a little bit of that down in Tennessee River at the Classic there. My next combo is what I prefer to do on anchoring.
Now, Spud, real quick, what you had in your hand before, what's the kind of cost of that kind of combination?
Well, on these here, on the bumping rods, they run a little bit, depending on who you go with, the B&Ms and stuff. They're going to run anywhere from $100 to $200 for a bumping rod or for a good one. They're most of these are custom rods, and if they're manufactured rods, they're going to be a little bit higher quality. The graphite's going to be or carbon, depending on what you're using, it's going to cost more than your regular S-Glass or E-Glass rods. But you don't buy as many as these as you do if you're anchor fishing or drifting.
Right, right.
I'm not excuse me, but I chose to do with Kuma rods or Kuma reels just because of the fact that the Kuma reels are cost effective. I haven't had any issues with these for years. I am no affiliation whatsoever with the Kuma, but I really like their reels. They're simple, got great drag systems on them. I love the line counters for everything I do. But for someone starting out, this is Kuma's a good brand. I mean, you don't have to go out and spend $200-$300 for a good reel.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good brands out there. I'm actually partial to the Abus and to the Fenors.
Oh,
yeah.
I used Abus for years. They're a good reel manufacturer.
Yep. So go ahead, continue on, please.
Now, on the anchor combo, I stick with the Akuma on the 44Ds because here in Texas, I fish a lot of structure, a lot of shallow water, timber, and I want to make sure I have a good drag. These 44Ds have a 30-pound drag on them. Now I do use mono. I do guide down here in Texas, and mono is a lot more forgiving for novice fishermen. Most of these are, all of these are with Dell's tackle circle hooks. I like the Livingston lures for the floats on these. We've done plenty of segments on these before we've gone, live on hot. But this is what I prefer. I like the heavy Silver Cat Elites. They're an E-Glass rod, so they're going to carry your backbone all the way through. If you notice this right here, I'm vintage. You're going to have a backbone that carries further than most of your other rod manufacturers, and I like that on anchor fishing because I want a fast action chip, but I want a solid backbone. If I'm pulling something out of structure, out of rocks, I want to be able to pull them out, even with the client, even with the mono. I want them to, if they pull back 3 or 4 feet, I want them to, that fish to feel it and get them out of there quick.
Yeah, you want to feel it. Cool.
Last but definitely not least is when we're drifting, and I drift, and probably about 30-40% of the time when I'm guiding, I'm not I like anchoring, I like watching that pole go down, but the tournament sometimes it doesn't dictate what I do. So I use the Magnum rod. This is more of a parabolic bend rod. You're going to get it, and when you're drifting, you normally don't drift in structure. I mean, if if you do, you find out real quick and get out of there. But on drifting, I prefer the Magnums from B&M just because it's got a little bit more flex in the rod itself. These are still heavy action rods, but they're going to give you a little bit more forgiving when you go across some rocks, or if you do go across some light structure. I go a little bit different on the reels. I choose the Akumas on these, on the 353 or 303s and 253s. I like these a little better, and then drift weights on the setup. And I want to thank Aaron Churchwell for discontinuing the pink. Number 2 in the nation on the Cat Masters. Mickey was number 1. We both use pink. Thank you, my tournament partner, for discontinuing the pink. everybody else can hate.
Well, wait a minute. There's a lot of women out there that like pink, though.
Hey, Aaron says he can't get the pink no more. That's all I'm saying.
I think Aaron could be in trouble with the female angler out there. So, Aaron, if you're watching, be careful.
Hey,
Hell has no fury, right? As they say.
Hey, me and my good friend Mickey Petrie, we appreciate him discontinuing the pink.
Well,
but a lot of people, you had a great question earlier, Glenn. About the ACA. You asked about how many anglers are in the nation, and the answer was 39 million. And if I remember correctly, about 7 million of those are catfish anglers.
No, it's actually more than that. 2016, U.S. Fish and Wildlife did a report, and catfish was the third largest segment at 8.1. Panfish was 8.4, and bass was around 15, 16 million. Now, that was in 2016. We all know that in the last 5 years, the catfishing segment has increased dramatically. So I think it's safe to say that catfishing is probably most likely number 2 in the recreational fishing industry now.
So you're looking at, if at 2016 numbers, you're over 20%.
Oh, yeah.
Of all anglers in the nation, are targeting catfish. And not everybody can go out and do all the different techniques. A lot of these people that fish, they, are bank fishermen, or they're going out for table fare. And you don't have to invest, like you mentioned a while ago about the B&M on the pro staff bumping rods. Some people don't want to invest $300-400 in a rig, or even $200 in a rig. B&M sent me a rod. I was telling them what I was doing this week, and they sent me a new rod and reel combo that they're launching later this fall. Yeah, this is the debut on this rod and reel combo. This is going to be a $49.95 combo that you're going to see at Bass Pro and Walmart and Academy, and a little plug my Texas outlet, National Athletic Supply. But this is a Silver Cat combo. This is an inexpensive
rod and reel. For $50, you can get yourself a decent rod and reel and get into the sport of catfishing, or increase your armament, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, introduce someone into the sport of catfishing. That's one thing that I've noticed as a guide is it's not, when you look at bass fishermen and a lot of other, fishing sports, you see a majority of men. Look at Miss Smith a while ago. You see a lot of lady anglers. My wife fishes with us. If you look at all the tournaments, you've got a lot of children and a lot of women that are, joining in the catfish sport.
I think what we need to do is we need to start an official ACA take someone catfishing weekend. We got to pick a weekend out of the year, which we will make the official ACA take somebody catfishing weekend. So if you have an idea of when that weekend should be, send us a message. Info at acafishing.com. Send us your ideas.
Now make this, nationwide, everyone. When you're looking at this, I know down here in Texas, our best fishing is in the wintertime, but people up in Michigan, building, they might not like to go fishing in December.
I'm from that way. I forget about fishing in December. In fact, I remember when living in Buffalo, I'd see people out there sitting on the ice in Lake Erie, and it was 10 degrees or 10 below, and it was these people crazy. I mean, I like fishing, believe me, but I'm not going to go out there in 10 degrees and go fishing. I'm sorry.
I've done it many times.
Yeah, well, no, ain't happening. That's why I'm in Florida now.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about it. In my old boat or my new boat that's coming in a few weeks, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for cold weather.
You got a new dynasty coming, right?
Yeah. You just announced it on everybody. I got a new dynasty. I haven't put that out there yet, but I've got a new one coming from Sea Arc in about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Yeah.
No, that's not a problem.
What color did you get,
sir?
What color did you get?
I got smoked quartz with the red amp package.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I'm super pumped. We're gonna do probably do a Facebook Live when I go up to the factory. I'm gonna get up there with Steve and I think Jeremy's gonna join us and I'm gonna head on up to the factory, do a factory tour and go Facebook Live.
The three of you are gonna get on the camera together. That's gonna be an interesting. I gotta let me know when that happens.
I can't get Chris to join in with it. So maybe the four of us. It'd be It'd be fun. I'm with Jeremy. I don't know if I got a wide angle on my GoPro, but I'm going to turn that thing vertical to get Jeremy.
You just got to get a box. You just got to get a big box and stand on next to Jeremy. Either that or have him kneel down or sit down.
I'd put everybody in platform shoes.
Yeah, well, whatever works, right?
Exactly.
Listen, we're going to give away something here. And I've got random.org up, and we've got the old ACA Live, not old, actually pretty new, ACA Live prize wheel. And let me just randomize. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Well, tell me Paula won.
David Funk. David Funk. Spud, I've got to take over the screen here just to be able to get the hang on a minute here. Let me figure out. Okay, there we go. David Funk. This is for you, my friend. This guy's given me so much grief over the years. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, no clue. Mammoth Coolers. David, you just won yourself a Mammoth Cooler. What do you call them? I don't have them here. They're these the insulated.
Tumbler?
Yeah, what do you call them? Insulated glasses.
Yeah, tumbler.
Tumblers. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, David, you've got a Mammoth, and I'll tell you what, the Mammoth stuff is really nice. Let me get you back in here, Spud. In fact, I'm going to get Bill in here. We got to get all four of us back in. What do you think?
There
We're
you
going
go.
to cap it all off together.
It's like the pre-show. We got the post game, but so we're still live.
Yeah, no, we're all live. Everybody's been taking it in. I appreciate everybody's efforts tonight, their input. We've gone way over what we normally do is our half-hour show, but I figure, what the heck? We had some. You're all great guests, and we appreciate you being with us tonight. I hope the audience enjoyed it. I know I sure did. Remember too, I'm looking for some great ideas to get even on a prank that Bill Dance and George Young pulled on me this weekend.
Taking bass fishing.
Do what?
Taking bass fishing and whoop him.
You want me to take Bill Dance bass fishing and whoop him?
Well, not whoop him at bass fishing.
I understand what you mean, but I mean, you're talking about probably, the legend himself. And, I can, keep up with the best of them, but I'm not sure I could outfish Bill Dance bass fishing.
Take lessons.
All right. I'm not going to get that involved with this prank, but I mean, I want something, somebody sent me a text message with a great idea. So that seems to be a single component of the whole thing.
I have one for you. I'll shoot it to you privately off air.
Fine. Thank you. Again, I got pranked over the weekend. If you didn't know, I got pranked over the weekend by George Young and Bill Dance, and they got me good. And I am not going to roll over. I never do. So as they say, payback is and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Payback's a barrel of monkeys.
Pardon me?
Payback's a barrel of monkeys.
Well, you can call it whatever you want, but paybacks is coming.
Hey,
so
I'm going to get off here. I just want to tell the guy from Texas, I'm coming down there, so you're going to have to take me out.
Come on, girl.
All right, you come on down here to the Tennessee River.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. Stay here with us.
I'll take you up on it.
Ken, I'm telling you, now you got a bed and breakfast going on.
Ken ain't got no say-so in the matter.
Oh.
Ken,
I think that you're the epitome of those two words. Yes, dear.
Like I said, it's kind of like the hair and the biscuit term.
Well, I'm a Yankee. I don't know what the heck the hair and a biscuit term is. Some of the sayings and the dialogue, it just right over my head. That's okay, but I'm catching on. I'm catching on. Bill,
Yes, sir.
May 15th, 17th. What is it?
May 15th, Sandusky Bay.
May 15th.
That's right.
Sandusky Bay.
I got something real quick. Bill,
Go ahead.
you got to tell Leslie, you got to tell her that every sentence she's got to say tournament.
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 Telling you. Bill, get the woman.
You know she's my boss lady on Team Heroes Outdoor Therapy, but I love her to death. Her and Troy,
Get
they're
the
fantastic.
woman
I
laughing.
just love how she says tournament.
Yeah, tournament. Yeah. I was at dinner with Leslie and Troy and a whole bunch of other people a couple of years ago up in Memphis. We were having a great time. And we were just cutting up, and she started laughing, and it's like, what the hell is that? Great people. Heroes Outdoor Therapy does some great stuff. So if you get a chance, look them up and certainly help them out. Ken, great information. Bill, good luck with your first event. Looking forward to you knocking out of the park. So far, it looks like you're going to do that.
It will happen.
Spud, thank you very, very much for the great info. Thanks to B&M for all their support as well. And, we really appreciate everybody out there for supporting the ACA. If you're not a member, please join. www.jointheaca.com. We'd love to have you as a member. We'd love to have your support. It's going to help conservation. It's going to help resources, benefits, et cetera, for membership. We're just getting started. We're just now a little over 4 months old, and we're thrilled with the support that we're seeing from the catfish community. Thank you again for that. So until next week, our 5th show. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
It's about passion for a sport we all enjoy. It's about conservation, education, community, and fellowship. It's about a single voice of strength. It's about being part of a common cause for the common good. It's about you. It's about us. It's our time to come together.
We're asking you to join us
and become a proud members American Catfish Association. You'll be happy you did. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.